Hi, and welcome back to the Myth of Hockey. Man, it's cold. Gotta have the hoodie on and a hat. It's freezing where I live just outside Toronto. Anyways, this particular one is about this guy here. And it's about this. It's about the 1993 10 overtime victories. Now, as it stands today, how many times have you heard that Patrick Waugh stole the 1993 Stanley Cup for his team? He was the best player on an average team, is some of the things I've heard over the years. That if it wasn't for Waugh, they wouldn't have won the Stanley Cup because, again, of the 10 overtimes. How come, whenever there's an overtime victory, it always seems like the goalie gets the credit, or at least most of the credit? And especially because there was 10 in that one particular playoff, oh, everybody thinks it was Patrick Waugh. Well, let me sort of dispel that myth of hockey that Patrick Waugh was the stud or the star and stole that Stanley Cup, because he certainly didn't do that, and here's why. What I did here is I'm going to give you all 10 games a breakdown. I'm going to start with the longest game, starting with 26-minute overtime. So obviously that's a period in 6 minutes and blah, blah, blah. So this is what happened in this first game against the New York Islanders on May 8th. So this first game, the shots were 42 to 41. So obviously this was a competitive hockey game. So how can you say one player stole that game? Well, Patrick Waugh didn't steal this game because obviously it was a close game. It was 42 to 41. And by the way, the Habs had the lead going into the third, and they blew the lead. And not only did Patrick Waugh give up 2 goals in the third, this is what had to happen to tie the game. The Habs had to score with 5 minutes to go to tie it. So whoever the Hab was that scored the tying goal with 5 minutes to go to force overtime, isn't he a hero? So sorry, but game one, you cannot say Patrick Roy stole this game. Game two against the Kings at 14 minutes was 14 minutes into overtime. And this is what happened. So the Habs had a 2-goal lead. So he blew, or Patrick Waugh and the Canadiens blew a 2-goal lead. So, and the shots were 42-39. Again, a very competitive hockey game. Habs blew a 2-goal lead. The shots were 42-39. You cannot say that Patrick Waugh stole this game. Game number 3 against the New York Islanders, May 20th. 12 minutes in, and this is what happened. Waugh only had to make 31 saves for 3 periods and 12 minutes. He wasn't busy. This is an average game. So how can you right away say he stole this game? And not only that, Montreal had to tie the game again with 5 minutes to go. So isn't the Hab that scored with 5 minutes to go in the third to tie the game, didn't he help steal this game? So again, I don't believe you can say Patrick Roy stole this game. Buffalo, May 8th, 11 minutes into overtime. This is what happened. Again, they blew a 2-goal lead. The Habs blew a 2-goal lead in the third period. And not only that, Buffalo had to score with 10 seconds to go in regulation to tie it. So they blow a 2-goal lead in the third, and the Sabres had to score with 10 seconds left to go to force it to overtime. So how can you say Patrick Roy stole this game? You can't. This was a team effort. Quebec, game 5 of the 10 overtimes. Quebec, April 22nd, only 10 minutes into overtime. Here were the shots on goal. 50 to 35. Ron Hextall faced 50 shots. Patrick Roy faced only 35 shots. How can you possibly say, and by the way, Quebec had the lead, the Habs had to tie it. But just forget that. Hextall faced 50 shots, Roy only 35. So how can you say Patrick Roy stole this game? You can't. Now let me show you the other 5 games. Okay, so here are the other 5 games. So far, just to tally, the first 5 games I showed you, Patrick Roy, you cannot say stole any of those games. It was a complete team effort. So again, we have to get rid of that myth for the first 5 games. Here's the second 5 games that ended in overtime. This is what happened. Buffalo, May 6th, 8 minutes into overtime. This is what happened. First of all, Wall gave up 3 goals in that game. Okay? The Habs had a 2-goal lead at some point in that game. So the Habs and Patrick Roy blew a 2-goal lead. Then the Sabres tied it, and then they blew another 1-goal lead with Sabres scoring with 10 minutes to go. So the Habs blew 2 leads in that game. A 2-goal lead and then a 1-goal lead with Buffalo scoring with 10 minutes to go. So you cannot say that Patrick Roy stole this game. 4 more to go. Now these are all really simple. These 3 games here, 1, 2, and 3, look at this. This game ended 2 minutes and 50 seconds into overtime. This game ended just 34 seconds into overtime. This game, June 3rd, ended 19 seconds, only 19 seconds into overtime. So these 3 games right here ended so early into overtime, that had nothing to do with their goaltender. But just for fun, let me tell you what happened in those games. In this game, May 4th, against Buffalo, Buffalo tied it in the 3rd. Okay? So Buffalo had to tie it up in the 3rd. So the Habs blew another lead. LA, June 5th. This is what happened in this game. The Habs had a 3-goal lead. So Patrick Roy and the Montreal Canadiens blew a 3-goal lead. This game here, LA, June, that ended in 19 seconds, only 24 shots on Patrick Roy. So, pretty clear, the games ended early in overtime, so he had nothing to do with the overtimes. And again, Buffalo had to come and tie it. So none of these 3 games did Patrick Roy steal. So far, 9, I've showed you 9 of the overtime games in 1993 that Patrick Roy was not necessarily their best player. In fact, it was a complete team effort. I just proved it to you. So 9 of the 10 games, Patrick Roy did not steal those games. He was not their best player. It was a team effort, as I clearly have proven to you. So the only game that you might be able to say that he stole or was the all-star of that game or the best player or first star was this game, Quebec, April 22nd. There were 8 shots in overtime and only 1 on Hextall. So I will give you 1 game stolen by Patrick Roy of 10. So please tell your friends and family, tell anybody that says that Patrick Roy stole the 1993 Stanley Cup that he didn't. He did not even come close to stealing that Stanley Cup. It was a complete team effort. Hockey is a team effort. Again, we cannot point wins on goalies. It's a team game. Who gives up the quality chances? Who controls the quality chances in a hockey game? The defensive systems do. So to say goalies steal games, even though I don't believe he's... Anyway, I don't even go there. We'll give him 1. 1 of 10 that Patrick Roy stole. Not 7, not 8 of them. 1 of the 10 overtime games in 1993 did Patrick Roy steal. Anyways, bye for now. Another myth crunched, destroyed. Bye for now.